Hey, this is Ben from Masters Academy. Here I'd like to share with you tips about transforming a layer. Let's dive in. Here I have two little pins, and I want to move this pin down below and get it to be the same general size and orientation as the one below. I just need some excuse to transform this so I can give you some tips. To do this, I'm going to start with my marquee tool, and I'm just going to make a selection like this around the general object that I'm thinking of. And then I'm going to copy it to its own layer. And I usually do that using my keyboard. I type Command J if I'm on a Mac. That's Control J on Windows. And that's just a shortcut for this command right here. So if you hate keyboard shortcuts, feel free to go to the menu to do the same. If you watch my layers panel, when I type that, we should have a copy of what I had selected. It's sitting on its own layer. And now I'm going to use Photoshop's Move tool to reposition this down below. And the first problem that I encounter is I can't see how it relates to what's underneath. Before we really get into that though, let's get ready for transforming. I want to first make sure that any transformations I make are things that are not permanent, so I can easily adjust my end result if needed even a month from now. To do that, I'm going to go to the filter menu and choose Convert for Smart Filters. That does the exact same thing as going to the layer menu and coming in here and finding smart objects and choosing Convert to Smart Object. It's just a heck of a lot easier to find. And that's why I do it from the filter menu. When I do that, if you look at my layers panel, at the layer that's currently active, you're going to find an extra icon appear on top of it. That indicates we have a smart object. Then let's start transforming. Usually when I want to scale and rotate something, I just type Command T. That's Control T in Windows, and that is a shortcut for coming here to the Edit menu and choosing Free Transform. Free Transform is the same as going to Normal Transform and choosing these individual options. The only thing is you would have to know of keyboard shortcuts that would get you to some of these other options, and I'll share a few of those with you. So I'm just going to type Command T, which is the same as choosing this. Here we go, Command T. Now I could start resizing this image by grabbing these little corners and pulling on them. The problem is I can't tell how big this is compared to what's underneath it. Well, while you're in the middle of transforming something, feel free to go to your layers panel. And even when you're in the middle of transforming, you can lower the opacity of the layer so you can partially see through it, so you can see how it compares to what's underneath. Or you can change the blending mode of that layer, and that controls how this layer blends with what's underneath it. And in this case, maybe if I choose a mode similar to darken mode, it might be helpful because now when I move this around, I can see some semblance of both layers. And in this case, I'm going to take the kind of rounded corner of this portion of the bus, little pin. I'm going to click there and I'm going to move it down until it seems to align with the rounded part of that. Now, when I do that, my image was kind of jumping around. And the reason why it was jumping around is this edge right here was getting really close to the edge of the document. And any time it got close, it snapped to the edge. So when I was moving this, it wasn't a fluid experience. And you can see a pink line appear on the left edge of my document whenever it snapped to it. Well, as long as you have your mouse button pressed down actively, then you can hold down the Control key. And for as long as you have that held down in Mac or Windows, you're going to temporarily disable snapping. And therefore, it will be a nice fluid experience. All right, well, now I have that area where I'd like, so it kind of matches up with the image that's underneath. But now I think I need to change the angle of this and maybe its size. Well, the problem is I got this spot right here to line up the way I want it to. And if I start scaling things by grabbing these corners and pulling it, that spot's no longer going to line up. So I'm going to type Command Z, Control Z in Windows to undo. And I'm going to go to my options bar at the top of my screen. And on the far left, when you're in a transformation, there's a checkbox. And the default has it turned off. But its setting is sticky, so it's going to remember whatever your last setting was for that. And if I turn it on, watch what happens right in the middle of my transformation rectangle. When I turn that checkbox on, it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little crosshair in the center. Now I can click on that crosshair and I can reposition it. And I'm going to reposition it where these two layers line up, which is where the curved part of that upper right of each bus pin lined up. Now, when I've done that, I'm going to do another little trick. I'm going to come up here to my options bar. In there, I'm going to see the width and height of my image, how much I've scaled it. Right now, I've scaled it up a little bit. It's at 102%. But watch what happens if I move my mouse on top of the letter W, I click there, and now I drag to the left and I drag to the right. We're going to be scaling the image, and that one spot where I put that crosshair is going to remain consistently positioned. So now I'm going to look at the back end of the bus and see if I can get both buses to be approximately the same position. I know it looks a little weird due to the blending mode, but I can get a sense for when they're in the same spot. Then I'd like to rotate this because the red version of this pin needs to be lower in this area. On the upper right, it's perfectly fine in the same position. So I want to pivot it around that little point that I have. To do so, I'll go up here to my options bar, and there I see an angle setting. And I can tell I have not rotated the image because it's at 0. Well, I'm going to click on the symbol just to the left of the number. I'll click my mouse, and then I'm going to drag. And as I drag, it's going to pivot it around that little center point that I had. And so I can get this angle to be approximately right. And if I need to get beyond the edge of my screen, I'll just come right back to that angle icon a second time. And now we'll get that angle just about right. So now I think I have the angle of the windows about right. I might want to change the scale once again. So again, here I go to this little W or the H, that's width or height, and I can drag it to scale. And I'll get the windows to be approximately the same dimensions. About there. Then on occasion, I'll need to distort things because maybe the bumper doesn't line up or something else. And sometimes that mode we're using called darken mode is not always the most useful. So I feel free and change between these all the time. I'll come in here and see if lighten mode is more useful. No, it's kind of hard to see. Whenever I want to get two things to align, I often find the choice of difference mode to be more useful. And that's going to make it wherever the two layers are identical, it looks black. And wherever they differ the most, you get vivid colors. But then I can often tell if these edges are off a little bit. Well, since this was at a slightly different angle than the pin that's below, sometimes what I need to do is adjust the individual corners of this transformation independently. And I can do that if I know of a special key to hold down. Then I can pull this and it's independent of the other corners, and it might make it a little easier for me to get that to align. What key am I holding down to be able to grab these corners when I'm in free transform and pull them individually? I'm holding down the command key. That's control if I'm in Windows, and I'm holding it down before I click the mouse button to grab one of those little handles. And I can also come in here and grab this handle here if I'd like and fine tune it, do whatever I'd like, but I think I'm getting pretty darn close to getting this to align. When I think I'm close to done, I can always set the blending mode back to normal. And then I could lower the opacity, bring it back up to compare the two, because you can adjust the opacity and the blending mode even when you're in the middle of a transformation. When you're completely done, either hit the checkbox that's found up here at the top or press the return or enter key. And don't worry if you didn't get everything perfect, because we used a smart object. And that means if you ever go back to the edit menu and you choose free transform once again, or type Command T like I did, Control T in Windows, it will remember exactly where those handles were. It'll remember the scaling that you've applied. It'll remember the angle, and therefore it's as if you never left. And therefore I could fine tune this once again. So there you have it, some random transformation tips that I find to be useful whenever I'm working in Photoshop. This tip has been brought to you by mastersacademy.com.